www.boxing.tv, only full fights via Facebook and with the Silent Brothers in Germany. This next contest is 6 3-minute rounds in the Super Welterweight division. Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the blue and white coloured shorts, and the weight he scaled 10 stone, 9 pounds 3 ounces. His ring record this evening reads 6 contests, 3 wins, 3 defeats. Presenting from Canuck, Gunter. And opposing him, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black coloured shorts, trimmed with white and silver. And the weight he scaled 10 stone, 5 pounds 3 ounces. He has a perfect, unblemished, pure record. 8 contests, 8 wins. Hailing from the superb city of Salford, the undefeated Luke Evans. Timekeeper once again at the bell, Gary Renner from Burnley, and the star referee in charge of the action is the very fine Mr. Phil Edwards from Preston.
So Luke Evans now against Lee Gunter. Both fighters are 22 years old. Luke is 8-0 with 0 KOs. As I say, Lee's won 3, lost 3. He's not managed to stop anyone. What are you hoping to see from Lee tonight, Danny?
From who, sorry?
What are you hoping to see from Luke tonight?
From Luke, just a nice boxing performance, like I said before. Hopefully this kid comes out and has a go as well. Do you know what I mean? Like with a 3-3, you're hoping that he is going to come and do that, and then Luke can show his skills more than, you know, just punching a guy who's in there not doing much and like punching a punch bag.
And that's Danny Wright. He's 10-0 himself, also known as the Wolf. What's next for you, Danny?
Well, the 22nd of December at the MEN. That's the big one, isn't it? You know, Warrington, Frampton undercard, and it's the first opportunity fighting at the MEN, and it's a dream come true for me. So yeah, I'm really excited for that.
And that'll be, as you say, it's a big show for you to appear on. So it must have been nice when you got that call.
Oh, it was massive for me. Do you know what I mean? And like when Steve said we're going to get you out on that, and obviously like it shows that Frank's interested in what I'm showing. Do you know what I mean? So it's a massive opportunity for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait.
And in the ring now we've got Luke, who's looking very tidy behind the jab. As we said earlier, he's a nice boxer, Luke. He does everything pretty soundly.
Yeah, he does it. He's safety first as well. He's got good movement. He tries to set the shots up as well behind that jab. Yeah, he's looking all right in here tonight.
And we were talking before how he trains out of Ricky Hatton's gym, and Ricky Hatton's here watching tonight. As a fighter, does it make you want to put in a bigger performance when you know someone like Ricky Hatton's at ringside?
It doesn't. I mean, if you start thinking like that, you can get carried away and start forgetting what you're actually supposed to be doing in there, which is beating that opponent. Do you know what I mean? You can't fight for anyone in the crowd, but it does spur you on when you've got great fighters like Ricky Hatton ringside watching you fight. It's you know what I mean? It's like they're the type of fighters that you've been watching as a kid coming up. So to have them, well, for Luke, part of his camp and part of his training team, and it's a massive motivational tool.
Yeah, because we forget that you fighters are also fans as well. So you turn professional, start going to the big shows and shows like this, and start meeting the legends of the sport. It must be a surreal experience.
Of course it is. It is massively.
But Luke's looking tidy tonight, as I say. Really good behind the jab, everything's sound, and he's got a great grasp of the fundamentals, Luke. Gunter's just kind of following around at the moment. The funny thing about Gunter is he won his first 3 fights, all 4 rounds on points. Then his next 3 fights he lost 2 decisions with 4-round distance, and then his last fight he lost was against Sean Cooper, and that was over for 6 rounds in October. So he had the promising start to his career, Gunter, and it just seems to have ran away from him.
Yeah, but that should fall into Luke's hands really, because he's coming out, he's having a go, and he's trying to land the shots, and you can see he's physically a little bit bigger than Luke, so it's a decent little test for Luke, this.
Yeah, and as you say, we want to see Luke get roughed up a little bit.
Of course you do. That creates opportunities. That was a nice body shot there, but before that though he touched up to the head with a uppercut and then fired the body shot in. It's nice. It's good boxing.
In terms of yourself, what did you find was the biggest shock when you made your pro debut and had that first fight?
The atmosphere, but it was a great experience. You know what I mean? I loved it. When I made my pro debut, it was unreal. But they got me an opponent as well who come to try and take my head off, and it worked. I stopped him in the first round because he walked into my big shots. But yeah, that was a night I'll never forget. You know what I mean? But I think more than that, following on from that fight, it was more like, say, like when you're getting in with these guys, so-called journeymen, who you think, well, they're not at the same boxing level as you, but they're tough guys, and they know what they're doing in there, and they know how to make it hard for you and survive. And you learn. Then you just got to relax in the ring. You can't be getting in there thinking it just because you as a fighter, you know how good at the level that you are. You can't just take that guy for granted who's in front of you. You've got to use your brain, and you've got to relax. You've got to box him like anybody else.
And Luke looks like he's done that tonight. He looks like he's found the range of his opponent. He looks relaxed in the corner as well, Luke. So I'm expecting to see him go through the gears maybe in the next couple of rounds.
He's barely breathing. You know what I mean? He stayed relaxed in that first round and took it comfortably, really.
It must be nice as well getting your first stoppage, winning your first fight. Do you think for someone like Luke who's got 8 fights without a stoppage, you'll be looking for that stoppage soon?
It will be. But I think if he overdoes it, he'll forget what he's good at. He'll lose what he's good at, which is he's elusive and he's a nice boxer. Do you know what I mean? And that's what he should focus on. Not going out there trying to stop people. He's finding nice shots there. He's setting up the body, that left hook to the body numerous times.
Yeah, there was a nice right and left hook to the body there, as you say. He got a really good left hook to the body towards the end of the first round, so it looks like we've seen quite a few decent body punches going in already in the upper fights tonight, and it looks like Luke is going to carry on that tradition.
Yeah.
And now that we know that you're going to be fighting on the big one on the 22nd, we've got to get your prediction for that one. Are you Frampton or are you Warrington?
It's a proper 50-50 for me, because I think it's the right time for Warrington, coming off the back of that win and how he looked in that fight as well. He was like a different fighter altogether. So, good body shot, nice. But you do have to say, because of the level that Frampton's boxed at, I'm going like 55% to Frampton and 45% to Warrington. But it's a great fight, and I'm buzzing to be on the undercard of that.
And it shows how well Warrington's come on, that people are talking about him, favouring him over Frampton, or saying it's almost a 50-50 fight. It shows that he came through these type of shows, Warrington, and now he's reached the level that all fighters want to aspire to.
Yeah. Good work, that.
Yeah, nice jab.
He's starting to find the openings now back to the head. I think he hurt him a little bit before with another left hook to the body.
Yeah, you should say those body shots have really been digging in, and Gunter he was trying to come forward a little bit at the end of the first round, but now
he's shelling up.
Yeah, I should say he's gone into his shell. He's going to start tucking his elbows in, trying to avoid the body shots, and you can actually see on his rib cage where it's starting to redden up as well.
Yeah.
So far, so good for Evans. And he brought the right hand to the head as well.
Yeah,
there,
he's varying it up now. He's going from the body then back up to the head.
And it's nice because the previous left hook to the body, he actually spun off a little bit and found the angle for it as well. So he's got a good imagination in there.
Yeah, he has.
Again, even when Gunter tries to take it on the front foot, he's just punching thin air there. It's really good defensive work from Evans.
It is. Slipping and sliding, nice. Firing them counters back as well.
And as we say, it'd be great for Luke if he gets his win tonight, goes into 2019 and gets quite a few fights under him in that particular year.
Yeah.
As we say, it's been a tough story for him, but he said that he wants his boxing to do the talking from now on.
He's young, innit? You know what I mean? He's a young guy. He's not. He's got loads of time on his side, so it's not like he can't do exactly what he wants to do in boxing. Do you know what I mean?
And he's done exactly what he wants to do tonight in the ring. Have you been impressed with what you've seen from him so far?
I have, yeah. That second round especially, he stepped up then in that round, varying it head and body, finding some nice shots there. So yeah, he's impressing me.
And as we were saying to Luke earlier on the commentary, we do like to see body punches. We do like to see fighters switch the attack from the head to the body if the opportunity is not there for the head shots.
That's it.
And he seems like he obviously all fighters take it seriously, but Luke seems to be particularly really into the sport of boxing.
Oh, he loves it. He does it
seriously.
Because I go sparring a lot at Hatton's there, and he's even when he's not even training, he's just always in the gym. Do you know what I mean? He loves it there.
And again, Evans comes out behind the jab. He always looks really composed as well. Nothing really has ruffled his feathers so far. It's been a really controlled,
couple of wild
decent
swings
performance.
There. You need to stick to that jab and set the bigger shots up.
And I've particularly enjoyed the right hand he landed to the head towards the end of the last round. I think if you like you say, if he sets that shot up with the body shots, we might see more of those going in.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is watch out for those swinging shots. He just took a left hook there from Gunter, who's just winged a couple in.
He just needs to remember what was working in the previous round.
And as a fighter, when you take a shot like that, it's a temptation to just come wailing back. You have to kind of get a grip of yourself.
Yeah, but I think sometimes as well, you're prepared for it as well. Do you know what I mean? You're in there, you know you're going to get it, or there's a chance of you getting caught. So there's no point going back and losing your head and swinging back. Just compose yourself again and stick to what you're doing.
A bit of a grapple there as well. I sometimes like to see the opponents get physical with a prospect, have a bit of a grapple and a pull about with them, as Carl Thought should say.
Yeah.
Carl Thought should probably also say that he knocks out George Groves in front of 30,000 people at Wembley, but I'll get there before him.
He'd get that one in.
But again, nice boxing from Luke. He really does understand the fundamentals of the sport. He boxes behind the jab.
Good shot.
Spun off the ropes there with a left hook, and as you say, that's a really classy punch. And it just seems he's realised that Gunter's got a few wild swings left in him, and he's gone back on his jab there, Luke. He's got a good boxing brain, if that's the case.
Just got clipped there with another left hook. Good movement, slipping and sliding, nice.
And back onto the left hook to the body, which he spotted in the previous round.
Yeah, he's neglected that this round.
So it'd be nice to see him get back on the punch.
Go back to the body. And when he was working the body in the previous round, Gunter shelled up, so.
And those good body shots early in the fight, especially in the 6th round and as the rounds progress, they kind of like having rounds in the bank.
You land the body shots early doors, and maybe not right now he might not feel the effect, but later on he'll be feeling the effect of them. Good little check hook there.
Yeah, nice left hook on the counter there by Evans. Like you say, he's taken a few shots this round, but he might just be thinking that he can be a bit more expansive with his own attacks. And that's nice. Gunter tried roughing him up a little bit, and Luke picked him up and turned him around.
It's a good little fight.
Yeah, as Lee Gunter goes back to his corner, he's reddened around the ribcage, but he had a few little flashes of inspiration in that round. He got a few shots in.
He stepped it back up himself there, and went out and I tried to put it back on Luke and let the hands go a little bit more, because like I say, in the second round he shelled up.
And they're constantly working on the those features of Luke with the end swell, just as a precaution, because obviously there was that risk after the knife attack he wouldn't fight again, so I imagine he would be extra vigilant between rounds as well, getting his skin ready.
Yeah. 100%. He'll have to keep their eye on that, all the way through his career, probably.
And he's concentrated in the corner as well. A lot of the fighters who are coming through now seem to be really concentrated in the corner. We used to have lights of Thomas McDonough who tell a joke or two, but everyone seems ultra professional these days.
I think that's just Thomas McDonough fighter anyway. He'll tell you a joke no matter where.
Yeah. I don't know if he does it to you, but every time I phone Thomas's mobile phone, he says, "Is this the police?" So that's his usual one. But again, Evans has come out nice behind that jab.
Yeah.
Concentrating on the job at hand. Lee's tried winging a few shots in himself. Maybe that last round will give Lee a bit of confidence to try and throw a few of his own left hooks.
I'd just like to see Luke put some combinations together now. 2s and 3s, rather than just the 1s and 2s.
And what's it like for you fighters? Do you critique each other or have chat about your own fights and performances?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I mean, everyone's on their own journey, aren't they? You, unless you're fighting a guy, you're not going to be overly critical of someone, because we know how hard it is. In there, everyone's on their own pathway, aren't they? But if you're fighting someone, and you've got to critique, and you've got to look at what their weaknesses are and their strengths.
And would you be one of those guys who watch tapes of opponents when you get into championship level?
I watch bits. I already do. I watch. You can see that now on the left hand side there, he's starting to redden up as well, because he's been winging that backhanding. But yeah, I watch bits on him, but there's not so much you can really take because you don't know until you get in there. But you just got to look at like what their tendencies are and say like if they like drop the left hand or the feet aren't very good and they're a bit slow on the feet. You just weigh everything up.
I suppose that's why it's good to have fights like this where you may not see your opponent and you've got to work things out as the rounds go along, and it helps
like
you develop your IQ.
Well. It's like being an amateur. That's what. Yeah, exactly right. Good shot that guy.
And you just get some fighters who don't watch fights. John Murray was a notable example. I remember once after John fought, I asked him if he was watching Miguel Cotto that night, and he didn't even know Miguel Cotto was fighting. So you're forgetting that everyone follows the sport day to day. Some people just go in there and, like in John's case, like going in there and having a scrap, and it's a profession.
Good work, that's a nice.
That's good by Luke. He slipped a couple of shots and tried to get the right hand over the top. That's a nice move.
Yeah.
But as you say, if he needs to mix out with the body attacks that were so successful in the second and first round. If he could get, as you say, 2 or 3 shots off, a left hook to the body, then bring the final shot the right hand or right hook to the head, he might have a chance of getting this guy out of there.
Yeah, you just got to try and find the right gaps.
And there's a gap through the middle now. Gunter, he's looking to try and protect that rib cage, which is looking really red and quite swollen, and a few welts are starting to pop up. This is the 3rd time in a row as well. Gunter is facing an opponent who's undefeated. He fought Ryland Charlton in October, he was 1-0. Then Sean Cooper, as we mentioned, in October as well, he was 5-0. And now he's fighting Luke Evans, who's 8-0, looking to move to 9 tonight. That's another good round by Evans. I think he's taken all of the rounds, but he's been asked a few questions.
Yeah, he definitely asked a few questions in the last 2 rounds. But yeah, he's edged the last 2 rounds. The first 2 I thought he won more clearly, but he's still performing well. He's not getting it with anything really meaningful. He's been clipped a couple of times, but yeah, I'd just like to see him these last 2 rounds now maybe, put a few combinations together and try and push him back with the shoulder and, put it back onto him. I know he's a big lad compared to Luke, but yeah, just to show a different dimension to him.
Yeah, you should say the combinations are a big thing. If you throw 3 or 4 shots, chances are you're going to land 1 or 2 of them, especially if you can mix the shots up as well. So we'll hopefully see Luke do that in the next couple of rounds.
Yeah.
And Lee's going to try and capitalise on any mistakes the way these guys do. And I spoke to Luke after his last fight. He was gutted that he picked up the injury. He was looking to just bounce into the next one. So he's shown a lot of strength of character to come back for this.
Of course, yeah. But we all know he's got that. He loves boxing. He loves the game. Do you know what I mean? And he's always going to. It's like after the knife attack, he's always going to be thinking, how do I get back to boxing? How do I get back in the gym?
Yeah, and he said that himself. He wants to be now people just look at him purely in terms of his boxing. And this is almost like his 3rd comeback in a way, because he had the facial injury, then the injury after his last fight, and now he's coming back out again. So I imagine in 2019 he'll just want to rattle off as many fights as Steve can get him.
Yeah.
And as we were saying before, Steve has started matching his fighters off against each other now as well, so potentially there's big fights on the horizon for him.
Yeah. I do think though Luke's best weight will be if he can do it down at lightweight. It'd be a much more of a force down at lightweight.
Yeah, and he's a big lad as well. He'd trim those few pounds off his frames, like you say. It'd be a big proposition for any lightweight when you're looking at someone who's as physically as imposing as he is. And people often forget watching these fights. Sometimes you're fighting in between divisions until you decide which division is the best one for you.
Just there.
Yeah, got caught with a right hand by Gunter there. Just needs to be careful of that. Tries his own uppercut. Maybe he needs to work the uppercut instead of just trying it when he's a bit out of range.
When he works behind that jab, it's lovely boxing. But always, this round he's took a few more than what he has done in the previous rounds.
Yeah, it's a shame. Like you said, he threw a 4-punch combination there, 2 jabs and then a couple of hooks to the body, and then kind of lost concentration a little bit and got clipped himself. So we want to be seeing more of those 4-punch combinations without any lapses of concentration afterwards. And Gunter's just looking to hold now as he gets in. He's probably felt the pace, felt those body shots, and he's just looking at the light at the end of the tunnel now. But again, Gunter tries roughing him up a little bit inside. The referee sorted that out, but at some point down the line, Luke's going to have to reach a position where he sorts his own business out on the inside when people are trying to maul and brawl against you.
Yeah. A little bit too close to the target there.
Yeah, it's not been the best round Luke's had, but he's still winning the round, but he's been a bit messy.
Yeah, a bit messy in this one.
I suppose that's only to be expected the last couple of times. He went the 4-round distance, now he's doing an additional 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Do people forget how hard it is when you start stepping up from 4 to 6 and then to 8 rounds?
Yeah, I think where it really starts to tell, and you've got to learn how to pace, is when you're going for that 6 to the 8 to the 10. You know, that's where you've got to really develop how to pace a fight and when to turn it on and when to, you know, ease off and whatever else. But over the 6, from the 4 to the 6, it's not massive. If you're fit and you've done the work in the gym, you can maintain a high pace for the 6.
And as we say, once you start going to that 10-round distance and looking at title fights after that, I suppose that's where your ring intelligence comes in, as you say, your ability to read the fight and pace yourself and adapt as the rounds go by.
I think Luke's picked up a little nick over his left eye.
Yeah, a little cut by the left eye. They were applying a bit of pressure to it. That might have been a couple of those little cuffing shots he took on the inside.
Yeah.
Seconds out for the 6th and final round.
Just waiting for the gum shields, I think, to go back in.
Okay, now they've lost it.
Yeah, a bit of confusion in the corner. Oh, there it is. They found it.
Someone put it in the pocket, I think.
We've seen that a couple of times this year with gum shields going awry. But he's banging his gloves there to get for Luke. Maybe he knows that last round he had a few lapses of concentration and he wants to put it right.
I'm sure they
this
would have
time.
told him in the corner. Blaine would have, you know, said keep that concentration up and start throwing a few more shots.
It looks like you're right, 'cause he's right on it now. Luke is firing a lot of shots. He's switching to the head and body. There he's managed to work his way from the clinch as well. And in this round, it looks like he's shortening his punches a little bit, trying a few more hooks.
That's it. This is what I was asking for 2 rounds ago. Maybe push him back a little bit, throw a few more shots, and push him back.
And it might be Luke looks back at this fight, sees those couple of rounds where he dipped a little bit, and that's something he can note for future reference when he goes into the next one.
Yeah.
But he's still got spring in his step, Luke. He's bouncing around, and that first minute of the round, he looked like he was back to the form we saw in rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Made Gunter miss a couple of times there along the ropes, which is good to see, and as you say, lands a body shot of his own. He almost slipped that right uppercut through. It was partially blocked, but it shows that he's looking for it.
Yeah, he's boxing better this round.
He almost might be as well that bit of swelling by his left eye is a little bit of a fire under him. He wants to protect the left eye, but also put a statement out as well. The pace has dipped in the second minute of this round, but there he just picks a couple of shots, Luke. And Lee tries firing back as well. Bit of a redness underneath the eye for Luke there as well. That's don't think at this moment
I think
anything
that's a bit
to
of the
worry
blood
about.
from this, yeah.
In a funny way, I think that bit of damage by the eye is a box tick for him as well. He can maybe give him a bit of confidence in his ability to take punishment and take punches. So going into the last 40 seconds, this one it looks like Luke Evans is going to move to 9-0. Still looking for that elusive knockout win, but he's shown glimpses of what he's good at tonight. He's shown a few things he needs to work on as well. So all around, it might be a performance that holds him in good stead for next year.
He's, like I said at the beginning of the fight as well, he's still going to be carrying that ring rust. You know, from that amount of time out and not being able to, you know, hit the ground running after that first one, with the injury and stuff. So I think it's a good test as well. The guy come to have a go, come to win. You know what I mean? He's not See, he's coming back there every single time. He's not just some to be a pushover.
Yeah, like we said, Gunter won his first 3 fights, so then lost his following 3 fights. So there's still that ambition there that he wants to maybe get back on the winning trail himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And in terms of everything you mentioned, ring was for the general public. Is that just timing, that you need to get your timing right after a bit of time out of the ring?
Of course, and fighting's completely different to sparring. Do you know what I mean? Like you can spar rounds, but fighting is completely different.
So just waiting now for Michael Pass to make it official. I'd say maybe 6 rounds to 0 for reference, or maybe a share of a round, or maybe even 5 rounds to 1, I'd say. And we'll go to Michael Pass.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing action, star referee Phil Edwards has scored the contest 60 points to 54 points for your winner. Now defeated in 9 professional contests from the superb city of Luke Evans.
So 9-0 for Luke Evans. Be happy with that.